Hello everyone, my name is Jack and today we are back with another section of our best angles for Ascent series. Today we are focusing on all things mid and tree room. As Ascent's metagame has developed since its release, one thing has become increasingly clear. Even in solo, ranked play, games will be fought and decided based on who controls mid. So if you're struggling on Ascent, maybe these spots will help you to turn the tide in an extremely meaningful way. Without any dillying or dallying, let's get right into it and start off inside the tree room. This is by far the best supporting position that defenders have access to bolster the mid defense. Not only is it the path to shutting down A split takes, it also allows for holding early mid aggression from attackers in B mid and quick rotates to help with B takes or splits through mid and market. We're first going to focus in on holding the tree room to prevent the split take. For the most part, it's standard to take a peek for some intel at the round start in mid, then back up into green room or A site to hold, as tree room itself is really just a corridor. It doesn't have any useful cover or angles. Fun fact, this is why most of my attacking rounds fail, because all my teammates want to sit in tree till the end of time. Anyways, from green room there are three main angles to hold. You can play left side of the doorway and tighten to this corner. This gives you a nice wide angle to try and contest the wide peek from Catwalk. Its biggest flaw is by far the lack of rotation. If you take this fight and mess up, crossing to your right is too slow and the corner you are in isn't deep enough to fully obscure your hitbox. So either way, you're screwed. The better way to play it, in my opinion, is to back up more towards the jump into heaven, about where the wall starts to bow outward. This still gives you that nice advantageous angle, but you can now duck to the right to reposition if needed. Always consider your bailouts when deciding to hold somewhere. An angle often can be good, but if the routes for escape are too easily punished, then it may not be worth it overall and on the averages. Now, if you favor a more passive playstyle, you can leave the left side entirely and play from the right side of green room as well. This is great because you can creep up into the doorway corner once again to help out with the site push, or play further back to cover people passing from tree to site. It's flexible, it's fast, and the heaven rotate is very quick as well. Speaking of, your other choice for passive holding is to actually play from the heaven window room itself. This is great because of surprise factor. It's very standard to have someone in green room, and while you risk losing tree quickly, you may get into highly advantageous fights because of it. The real cheese of this position is if you leave the glass intact. The glass for the heaven window has a sort of one-way opacity issue, as you can see here from the attacker point of view. Where am I? Wait. What's that? Enhance image. We need to get closer. Enhance image. My god. And then boom, you're dead. This angle is disgustingly underutilized, and it's so defensively favored that it surprises me it's like that. That's all there is for that aspect of tree room, and we're going to scoot right along into talking Catwalk. Firstly, let's talk the most basic thing everyone should know. When peeking Catwalk as a defender and an attacker, and that's your headshot level. The ability to pre-aim your crosshair height can help create the best scenarios to grab the quick opening pick. This can be neglected sometimes, especially if you are an operator heavy player. From the defense perspective, in tree room you are looking for about halfway on the square in the archway before you peek, then about the height of the blue light on the bottom on the wall barriers. It's sort of hard to describe verbally, but hopefully it makes sense on screen. The flip side is from B-mid is quite similar actually. It's that same blue light, but just slightly higher. Let's talk briefly about what not to do when defending Cat. You see this corner here? That corner right there? It's bad. Do not stand in this corner. Ever. Unless you were literally broken just trying to do some rat stuff on a save, then I guess feel free. The biggest issue with this cubby is its poor angle advantage compared to the attackers pushing down Cat. Watch here, I'm being shot with no possible way of responding because I can't even see them yet. Now, what you will rely on here is for your opponents to not check the corner. It's as simple as that. This is your suicide shorty spot, and if you are a true gamer like me, then of course you take the Viper shorty into battle as well to multiply your luck. Alternatively, and credit to Hexadecimal for pointing this out to me, you can actually stand on this box instead of in the corner directly. It's a nasty little off angle, and I think genuinely strong. What's cool about this is the distance from this box to the corner that the attackers will be swinging from is literally perfect distance to do this with a Bucky right click. Yeah, pretty nasty. I will be personally incorporating this into my own play. Be wary though, going into this with no smokes is really dangerous, so consider smoking Cat itself, or at the very least be mid. Speaking of smokes, if Catwalk gets smoked, as is almost always standard, you can get really cheeky if you're feeling a little duro and push into that smoke. Because there's only one lane into Cat, you could just camp the smoke, especially in a low econ situation, and maybe scrape a kill you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Another aspect for playing Catwalk on defense is to remember your rotate through mid is a deadly fast flank to blow up B hits and splits. It can be dangerous, obviously, but this quick pinch isn't utilized enough in my opinion, and it can be the difference in stopping a devastating take, so learn to incorporate it in your game. Now, it's not all purely defensively favored on the old Catwalk. For my top mid attackers, here is a nasty angle to work on not only punishing defensive aggression on Cat, but also setting up nice head glitches through towards market. This is a great all-around power position to establish mid control, and I would recommend incorporating it into your play, especially if you were skittish about taking the fight from B mid. Just to preface this next position, this is needlessly aggressive in my opinion, but Hexadecimal is a madman and actually does this in game, so we're including it anyway. If you want to punish the attackers in a big way, smoke top mid and B mid, then slow walk into this cubby. This is the offest angle to ever be off, and you will only get away with this maybe once or twice before you create paranoid players that will check it until the end of time. This peek also doubles as a great punish for players running it down Catwalk. Like, real talk, Hex has me so spooked with this position that I'm clearing it in my private matches now too, even when I'm alone. Jumping over to the other side of the courtyard, let's talk about the Archway and bottom mid. Mainly how to wallbang to your heart's content, because on ASCENT there is one rule. Walls are suggestions. You see this cubby right here? Where literally all attackers known to man stand while they contest mid control? If you do a little hop and a skip on the planter on the other side of this wall, it's one of the easiest wallbangs in the game. Basically, think of this as a window. This window covers the entire area that you can spam to potentially hit targets if we look at it from this still frame. It's essentially from just off the edge of the planter on the left to the end of the second gray brick. Our height of this window is about 4 blocks on the brick wall. This space will cover players crouching or standing across the entirety of that cubby. It's a bit esoteric to understand, I know, but once you've practiced this a bit, it'll make a lot more sense. An easier way to frame this, see what I did there, is to realize that for whatever reason people tend to favor corners. Rarely will someone just stand in the middle of a piece of cover, they will often tuck into those corners. So really, instead of spraying this box that we created, it's more like spraying 2 different lines on the far sides. But keep in mind, when you go for these wallbangs, the rules of ASCENT are universal and definitely not biased. You can and will be wallbanged back. The attacker wallbangs are a bit trickier because of the angle difference. But the best I can say is follow my crosshair placement in the video you're watching and try it out in a private match with a buddy. The best thing I can offer here is don't go for this wallbang tight against the wall. You'll just dink the planter for days because of the fact you have to look up. You're not going to be able to cover anything useful. Alright, moseying on to the top of the middle, let's talk about defenders getting frisky and pushing up to flank through A. One thing to keep in mind when doing this is that if you don't hop on the ledge of Catwalk, you can't attempt to clear the small box at top mid. However, if someone is standing behind this box and you jump on the ledge, oop, that's a dome sticking out. So if you want to rat hold this box, make sure to crouch, and of course if you are pushing through this, check this corner, please. Back to bottom mid, let's talk about another angle that is commonly held by people, but it's pure bait. No, yeah, I'm gonna hold here, maybe peek towards B mid, it's gonna be great. Don't do it. This angle sucks. There's no rotation out, you are standing behind a very stiff piece of construction paper that they call a wall, but I do not believe them, and literally everybody and their mom is checking this the moment they push through mid. Just stop it, stop right now, do it better, get some help. Maybe consider playing from the planter side instead. It's just as much of a suicide position in terms of there being, no escape. But you gain some wallbang protection, a height difference to throw people off, and the ability to get a cheeky peek into Catwalk as well. This is great to punish people who overcheck Death Alley over there. It's still very much ride or die position though, and I would personally recommend more safe approaches, but hey, that's just me. Omen mains rejoice. We are finally at your favorite spot in any map, and I know this for a fact. The pizza corner, baby! Louis on 15th, best in the city! But in all seriousness, this angle is great. It lets you cover enemies moving from B mid towards bottom mid, and agents with movement abilities can avoid the one issue, which is the bad rotate potential. As you can see here, Cypher, not a good pizza boy, but Omen, that's a perfect meatball right there. In alternative market locations, are you an operator player? Jet wallpaper on your PC? Wardell your favorite pro? That you? I know you. Then you need this standard setup to pick top mid. It's safe, it's reliable, and it works like a charm. Now let's say you do that and then fall back to hold inside of the market doorway. Be careful, because just like everything in life, it can be wallbanged. Moving on to the market itself, attackers, I'm calling you out on this one. Check your corners entering market. Also, smoke past market in mid to block off spawn unless you want these things to happen to you that you were seeing on screen. Do you? I thought not. Speaking of spawn, let's talk spawn wall. Op wall, the wall, your wall, my wall. I really need some sleep, but we'll power through anyways. I'll take care of that later. Spawn wall should be exclusively played by operators early in the round. It's very strong and it's hard to push people off of it other than using breach. But if you lack God on your team, then your best bet is to smoke past market. Do keep in mind also that op wall is also the wallbang wall, and defenders might get saucy and spawn by going for a jump peek, then hitting you with the laser. The downside for the defender, as with most wallbangs and everything else on Ascent, if you don't get the kill fast enough, the enemy can just shoot back at your tracers, which is no bueno. And remember, if you want to improve, win more gunfights, and get the rank you've always wanted, then check out SkillCapped.com, link in the description below. And that's all there is for mid on Ascent. Like we said in the beginning, your games will revolve around controlling and contesting mid. Hopefully this will help you guys better approach that task. Do you guys like to play sites or mid on Ascent? Let us know in the comments down below. While you are down there, make sure to like the video and subscribe as well for more premium guides just like this one with one goal in mind: helping you become a better player. We here at SkillCapped would like to thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.